Hey everyone, my name's Leah, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the photo editing application of Afterlight. This application was 99 cents through the App Store, so it is not free, but 99 cents isn't that bad. I've actually had this application on my phone for a little while now, and I figured it'd be the perfect opportunity to assess it and use it. So I'm going to click on Afterlight, and I'm actually going to choose this picture of Jess that I took. It's a little blurry, but I think with this photo application we could fix it up. So when you want to use a picture, you just click on the use button, and your first tools that you're going to start using is with these three little lines right here, and it shows all the different tools that you can use, so like brightness, contrast, saturation. The one thing I don't like about it is how it doesn't show like which tool is which. I think on other applications it's nice when they do that, so that's one thing I'm just going to notice right now, or say that I don't like. So we're going to click on clarify. This is just really kind of going to help to make it so Jess is just like a little more clear in this photo, because before she was just a little blurry. So we're going to bring it up to 77, and when you like it you can click the check mark. So we're going to go ahead and do that. The second one is with the little sun, is brightness. I don't necessarily think that we need brightness, so I'm going to turn it down just a little bit just because it was so bright before. So I'm going to get it to, I think, right about here. And if you want to see what your photo was like before and after, you can press your thumb down. So this is what it was like before I added the clarify and brought down the brightness, and this is what it is right now. So I'm going to click check. Next, the third little circle, half circle here, is contrast. So we're just going to play around with this a little bit. I like utilizing this tool of contrast just because it kind of brings out more of the pop in the colors. And as you can tell, I'm just going to hold it down. Like, her shirt wasn't as bright as it was right now, so it just adds in a little more color. So I'm going to click the check mark. The fourth one is saturation. So we're going to play around with this tool. Sometimes you need to be a little careful with saturation just because like the colors can get a little too bright. Like if we went all the way up, that's way too much. So I'm going to put it at say 20. Perfect. And just kind of check before. All right, so yeah, that brings just like a little more color into it. So I'm going to hit the check mark. We can go through and see exposure. I'm not going to play with that just because it kind of just makes it a little too dull and a little too dark. So I'm going to click the X right there, and you can go through shadows. I'm not really sure about this one. I've kind of played with it in other photos, and for this one I don't think it necessarily needs it, so I'm just going to click the X. And you can keep going down the line, so like fade, highlight tone, you can choose between the different ones. In this case I'm not going to use any of those. Same with the mid-tone, play with that, but I'm not going to play around with that. And shadow tone. And then you can go to temperature, which way you want. I'm going to click the X because I don't necessarily like those. And sometimes it's kind of hard to tell like what you truly want in a picture. Like, I do not like that, so I'm going to exit that out. And then for the last one, sharpening and grain. And so you can click, we're on the little colorful circle here. These just show the different filters you can use on a photo, which is kind of cool. Some of them aren't available just because if you want more, you have to buy the higher edition of this application, which is kind of a little bit of a downfall. And then you can add these cool edits in here, which I think are awesome. But in this case, I'm not going to add any of these. If you're doing kind of like an abstract photo, it'd be kind of cool to add these in. And then you can kind of crop and tilt the picture. One thing I thought was very cool is if you click on this little 2 squares with a line down, it flips the photo. So you get 2 different perspectives of what you're looking at. So that was what it was like before. And then once I click that, it filters it, flips it over. So I thought that was really cool. And then there's just these different ones, and you can flip back and forth. And, oh, cancel. Didn't mean to do that one. And then for the last one is you can put in different shapes and borders. So if you want to have a white border, you can bring it down that way or this way. Whatever you want. Circle, oval, which is kind of cool. So I'm not going to do that. And then you can kind of add funky filters on there. Oops. Go back to that. Put her in a heart. Oh, sorry. I keep going back. I don't know why. And then A. But we're not going to use those. So once I'm done, I'm just going to check it for one last time. And so much better. Everything, her features are just popping. And so I'm going to click done. And you have the options. You have the options of if you want to save it to your camera roll, to your Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. And in this case, I'm going to hit these 3 little dots right here and save it to my Flickr. And I'm going to title it Jess, if I can spell her name right, and hit share. And that's all you need to do. So I'm just going to hit back and hit home. And I hope you all enjoyed this little video on the application of Afterlight, and I hope you go ahead and try it. Thank you.